What's up guys, it's Reese over at StreamForGraphics.com, and I got a motion tracking tutorial for you guys. I'm going to show you how I made the intro at the very beginning where I had the X4G logo going through this video right here, and you'll see how I was able to take this regular 2D video and turn it into 3D space. Now I have to warn you, it is a pretty advanced tutorial. You're going to need some different programs. You're going to need Sony Vegas, Beaujeu, and Cinema 4D, and with those three programs you'll be able to do exactly what I'm about to do right now. So let's get started. First thing you want to do is you want to be sure to go to your properties of the video that you're going to render out and put inside of Beaujeu. You want to make sure that the resampling is off. This makes it easier for Beaujeu to be able to track it easier without the blurry edges and all that. So you can just go ahead and render this out. Actually, let me select this first. We could just render this out. Let's name it as Beaujeu, and as the settings, render quality best, interleaving off. I'm gonna have this as a 1080p video with 29 FPS. Make sure the audio is off, and I'm going to save this. So once your video is done rendering, you can just go ahead and put it in Beaujeu. So now I'm just going to take this video that we exported it and import it into Beaujeu so we can actually turn the video into 3D space. So just go ahead and hit import sequence, and we're going to just take this, make sure all the frames are selected, apply and close, and if everything loaded correctly you'll see your video inside the timeline as you drag it by. So next what you need to do is just go to edit camera and be sure to have the same settings that you did before, the 29.97 FPS and the 1080p resolution. And then after that all you have to do is now track the feature. So what the track featuring does is it takes your video and it takes all the features of it and turn it into 3D space. So for this particular video I'm just going to turn the sensitivity all the way down. Depending on your video and how much there is and all that, you can change it. So now I'm going to hit start, and now you'll watch it track all the features of your video, and you'll see the percent here. So when it's done it would have had all the data out by then. So now it just finished tracking all the data. As you can see, you have a lot of red dots and yellow lines. You can see how the yellow lines is following the red dots. This creates the camera basically, and now all you have to do is just take all this data and solve it. So you just hit the camera solve button and you just hit start and just let it do its thing. Okay, so once it's done you'll see a lot of blue and yellow dots, and as you can see it's basically following the camera perfectly. It's like it's almost 3D space. But what you're going to do is you're going to take these dots and you're going to export the camera. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to export the type to Cinema 4D, and let's save it as solve. Since it's the camera solve, I'm just going to save it. And now I'm going to open up Cinema 4D, and you can close this. So now you just go ahead and open what you had, so solve, and you can leave this the same. Sometimes you might want to change the scale if things are out of proportion, but usually you don't have to. And now what you see here is a bunch of dots. You can almost see the actual video through the dots and the whole camera movement, but since you can't and only you can see the 3D space, you're just going to add a new background and take your video that you had before, the CSS Aztec Smooth for me, and this is a material now, so I'm just going to drag this over the background. Actually, wait, what did I just do? Let's do Beaujeu instead. Alright, that works. So now we just put that over the background, and now we have the video. So now you can see how it's perfectly tracking this. So now all we have to do is just add whatever we're going to add in there. So you can add anything you want. You can add a cube in there. Just maneuver it around and they'll follow it in 3D space. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the X4G logo I'm going to take all this, put it in a null object. Just going to edit, copy, and then go back here. And now I have my X4G logo inside of this. So now all I have to do is just maneuver this. Another trick is to hit this middle button, or not middle, but the one all the way at the end, and position it in front. Or a trick that I do is put it as close to the camera as possible and then scale it down. So just hit T, scale this down a bit, and get it a little closer to the camera. Move it up a bit. So now it's going to take a while to just be able to get the video in there, get your logo. And another thing, as you saw, I had the this box, it came over the X, so it wouldn't exactly look right. So what you would have to do is you would have to mask the X out, but that's for another day. That's another tutorial. So now just move it up. I think in the preview I had it like right around there. Yeah, that's about good. So now I'm just going to render this out. So I'm going to go to render, and I'm going to go to the settings, and I have a preset. This preset has the output as a 1080p width and height, 30 frames per second. I'm going to have all the frames, so it's going to be 0 to 125, and my arrow just disappeared. Anyways, I'm going to save this as a Cinema 4D render, and I'm just going to render this out. So now I'll just hit the picture viewer button, and okay, so when it's done rendering it out, we can just go ahead and close out of Cinema 4D, and we could take the Cinema 4D render and just put it inside of our project. So now we just went from this, and it was like that. So now you could just go ahead and add any type of effects like I did in mine. I added some magic bullet look. I had a preset that I used that I made. Great. And you have this nice glow, contrasting, color filtering, swing tilt kind of video effect going on here. And then you could just go ahead and take this whole thing, render it out, and upload it to wherever you want to do. So that's basically it for today. I'm Reese over Extreme for Graphics. See you next time.